All right, we're going to take a look at Ari's February 2nd, 2014 assessment. Here we're going to see him running full speed, followed by half speed. And I told you before, he's really young, so he's really rough around the edges. He definitely have a lot of work to do as far as his technique and form goes. So we're going to take a look at it right here. His upper body's really all over the place. He's unhinging his arm. He's going east to west with his arms, creating a side-to-side motion. He's moving his head, his shoulders are over-rotating. It's really a whole lot. Nobody's really ever showed him, so we can't really expect him to know. But if you see his right arm going across his chest, that's supposed to be more of a hip-to-pocket movement. With the movement that he's doing right there, he's basically not getting any momentum from his upper body, which slows you down a lot. Also, if you notice how his left shoulder is tucked behind and his right shoulder is more prominent, and vice versa on the next stroke, it's way too much upper body movement. The shoulder should be squared up and the arm should be rotating on a north to south axis. Going forward here, we'll stop him about 7 yards, and you will notice quite a few things. One, he barely picks his legs up. He's got kind of what we call the old man shuffle, where you barely pick your foot up about maybe 2 or 3 inches off the ground. Actually, that part right there is the highest his knee goes. And if you see, he's barely getting it off the ground. Well, his stride is very, very short and choppy, and that's going to make for a very slow runner. The second line at the top with the magenta highlight there, that's about where his knee should be height-wise. So we're probably talking about half a foot, maybe a bit more. And it just comes with experience and us kind of teaching him what to do. Going forward a little bit more, we're going to stop him at 8 yards. And you can see at the top, we're just demonstrating again how the arm comes across the chest. And that's no good. We need to get that more of a north-south movement, hip to pocket, with the arm staying in an L shape. But if you look also at his legs here, or his feet, you see how he's striking heel first. That should be flipped over and striking on the ball of the foot and then pushing through. So that's a very slow movement right there, and that slows you down a lot. And it creates kind of a jarring motion as well too, so it's not very smooth. So we'll teach him how to do that correctly. We're going to stop him again at about 14 yards, and we'll take a look again at the feet and legs. And you'll notice a couple things. Right here we'll stop it, and you'll see how his foot is basically kind of flailed out to the left, and that's, if you look at the magenta line again, you'll see that's his angle, and then the correct angle would be in yellow. So everything should be north and south, straight forward, and he's got more of a catty corner angle here, probably about 30 to 40 degrees off. And if you notice the red circles, whenever you have an impact like that, it creates a twisting and there's a lot of pressure and impact on the ankle, knee, and hip area. So besides the speed factor, we want to do this to keep his injuries down and that kind of thing. So again, it's going to take a lot of work with him. He's very young, he's got a lot of time, but we definitely have a lot to do. Looking at the vertical elite, he scored an 8 here. And a lot of this is learning how to use your body and actually learning how to jump. It sounds kind of silly that you don't know how to jump, but everything has to be taught to you in order to do it correctly. So we'll go over everything with him and try to make him a much more explosive athlete. Looking at the next portion here, you'll see standing broad jump, and he scored a 3 foot on this. And these two areas are very important because standing broad jump and the vertical correlates directly to your 10 and 20 yard time. So if you're going to be very quick and very explosive, then you need to have a good vertical and a good standing broad jump. Moving on a little bit more, you will notice lateral reps. He was able to get 6 here. He's got more of a kind of a hopping, standing up straight motion. And again, this comes from just not being taught. He's opening his hips. So we just have to teach him all these things, but he scored 6 reps on this, and that's 5 yard reps in 30 seconds. Now we're going to take a look at his overall scores, and we talked about this already. There's a lot of areas we need to work on, but this gives us a baseline as far as what he's capable of, what he can do at this time, and then hopefully in 90 days we'll be able to go back and show you guys a tremendous amount of progress. And that's our goal, is to always help him out mentally as well as physically, and then maybe help him try to figure out what sport he wants to play and kind of stick to it. Making sure he stretches is going to be key, and that'll be his homework for the next month or two, is really stretching at home.